Welcome to African News Roundup. Starting off this segment, Ghana is intensifying its diplomatic campaign at the United Nations, combining cultural expression and political advocacy to push for global recognition and the transatlantic slave trade as the greatest crime against humanity. Speaking in New York, John Dramani Mahama emphasized that the legacy of slavery is rooted in the systematic dehumanization of Africans. Nevertheless, Ghana has formally submitted a draft resolution to the United Nations General Assembly aiming to reframe international understanding of the slave trade and its long-term consequences. As part of the effort, Ghana is also ramping up initiatives to document and preserve historical records of slavery, reinforcing its case for recognition and accountability on the global stage. Now, Ghana is essentially voicing what many African countries, including Nigeria, have not pushed strongly enough on the global stage. However, while the moral argument is powerful, the real challenge will be turning this recognition into tangible outcomes like reparations or policy changes, which global powers have historically resisted. Now, still on African news, hundreds of fuel retailers in Kenya are running short of supplies due to the current war in the Middle East, a sector representative told Reuters. About 20% of the country's independent fuel dealers are affected. Kenya obtains all its fuel supplies from the Middle East through government-facilitated deals with Gulf producers and refiners. On the 14th of March, the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the state-run sector regulator, froze prices for petroleum products for the next 30 days despite the spike in oil costs globally. Global oil prices jumped earlier in March as the war involving the United States, Israel, and Iran disrupted transit through the Strait of Hormuz. About 20% of the world's oil supply usually passes through the strait. Now, this is my take. It's a warning. Despite being an oil producer, Nigeria still faces similar risks due to refining gaps. If global disruptions worsen, Kenya could feel it through higher pump prices and scarcity, just like Nigeria. And finally, on African news, the Democratic Republic of Congo is preparing to conduct its second general census more than 40 years after the last one in 1984. On the 23rd of March, on Monday, authorities in Kinshasa convened major donors for a roundtable aimed at mobilizing financial support for the upcoming population and housing census. The objective is to secure firm commitments from all partners to raise the resources required for the operation, now deemed a national priority by the presidency. The stakes are high. The last official census dates back to 1984, when the country's population was around 30 million, compared with more than 110 million today, according to estimates. Participants at the roundtable underscored the need to complete the census in order to better align public policies with conditions on the ground. This is my analysis. It is a reminder that without reliable population data, governments struggle with resource allocation, security, and development. DRC's delay shows how politics, funding, and logistics can hold back effective governance. And that's all I have for you on this news. All the news we got it from African News. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.